Hello everyone, welcome to another math online lesson. Our lesson for today is operations on real numbers, part 3, operations on decimals. So let's start by adding decimals. How do we add decimals? It's very simple. All we need to do is to align the decimal point and then add normally. So from here, we have 25.43 plus 3.024. So let's rewrite our mathematical statement here. Again, we need to align our decimal point and then add. So we have here, we'll just add 0 here so that there's a number aligned to this one. Okay, adding zeros will not change the value of this number. It will still be the same. Okay, so 0 plus 4, that's 4. 3 plus 2, that's 5. 4 plus 0, that's 4. Then copy the decimal point. 5 plus 3, that's 8. Then just bring down 2. And there's your answer. Next, we have 25 plus 0.232. Again, let's rewrite our mathematical statement. So that's 25. So since our number here is a whole number, so the decimal point is located after the whole number. So the decimal point is here. Okay, so let's add the next number, 0.232. Okay, so again, let's just add zeros here so that there's a number aligned to one another. Okay, so again, when adding zeros here will not change the value of this one. Okay, because we have the decimal point here. So we have here 0 plus 2, that's 2. 0 plus 3, that's 3. 0 plus 2, that's 2. Copy the decimal point. 5 plus 0, that's 5. Then bring down 2. There, that's your answer. Now next, subtracting decimals. How do we subtract decimals? Subtracting decimals is the same as adding decimals. All we need to do is to align the decimal points. So let's rewrite our statement here. We have 25.43 minus, again, make sure that you align your decimal point to 4. There. Then subtract. So let's just add 0 here so that there's a number aligned to our subtrahend here. So let's start subtracting these numbers. 0 minus 4 cannot be, so we'll borrow 1 from here. 3 becomes 2. 0 becomes 10. So 10 minus 4, that would be 6. 2 minus 2, that's 0. 4 minus 0, that's 4. Copy the decimal point. 5 minus 3, that's 2. Just bring down 2 here. There's our answer. Next, we have 25 minus 0.232. Again, let's rewrite our statement here. This one is a whole number, so the decimal point here is after the number. Minus 0. Make sure that your decimal point is aligned. Then let's just add zeros here. Okay, so let's start subtracting this one. 0 minus 2 cannot be, so let's borrow 1 here. This becomes 10. This one cannot be also, so let's just, this one becomes cannot be also, so let's borrow 1 from here. This one becomes 10, this one becomes 4, so I'll borrow 1 from 10. 10 now becomes 9, right? And then I'll borrow 1 from here also, so this becomes 10, and then when I borrow 1 from here, this one now becomes 9, and then this becomes 10. So you have 10 minus 2, that's 8. This one becomes 9 now. 9 minus 3, this will be equal to 6. Okay, 9 minus 2, that is 7. Copy the decimal point. 4 minus 0, that's 4. Then just bring it down here. So we have our answer. Now to check if we have the correct answer, just add the subtrahend to your difference, and then you get your menu in here. So just 2 plus 8, 0. That's 10. Carry 1. So 1 plus 3, 4 plus 6, 10. Another 0. Carry 1. That's 1 plus 2, 3 plus 7, 10. And then carry 1. That is 25. So you get the correct answer. Next, let's proceed to multiplying decimals. Now, how do we multiply decimals? So unlike adding and subtracting decimals, multiplying decimals, there's no need for us to align the decimal point. Okay, so let's just rewrite this one. So you have 2.45 times 3.2. Again, there's no need for us to align the decimal point. So let's proceed to multiplication. 2 times 5, that's 10. Carry 1. 2 times 4, that's 8 plus 1, 9. 2 times 2, that's 4. Next, 3 times 5, that's 15. Carry 1. 3 times 4, that's 12 plus 1, 13. Carry 1. 3 times 2, 6 plus 1, 7. Then let's add. Bring down 0. 9 plus 5, that's 14. Carry 1. 1 plus 4, 5 plus 3, 8. Bring down 7. So what's our next step here? So after multiplying the numbers, we'll just count the number of decimal places here. So we have 1, 2, 3. And then from our product, let's count the number of decimal here. 1, 2, 3, and then place your decimal here. Again, count the number of decimal place here, and then count from your last number going to the left. Then you write your decimal. Just right here. 25 times 0.23. So let's rewrite the statement here. Times 0.23. Again, there's no need to align our decimal. So we have 3 times 5, 15. Carry 1. 3 times 2, 6 plus 1, 7. Next, 2 times 5, that's 10. Carry 1. 2 times 2, that's 4 plus 1, 5. So there's no need for us to multiply 0 here because that will result to 0. Any number multiplied by 0 will result to 0. So let's just add this to here. So bring down 5. 7 plus 0, that's 7. Bring down 5. So let's count the number of decimal places. So we only have 2 decimal places here because the decimal place of 25 is here and there's no more decimal number here. So let's count 1, 2. Going to the left, 1, 2. So there's our 5.75. Now let's go to dividing decimals. Now in dividing decimals, all we need to do is to rewrite the statement using the long division method. So this one here will be our dividend. This one here is our divisor. Okay, so the first one, again, the first one will always be the dividend. This number is the one inside the division sign. this one is outside the division sign, which is the divisor. So let's write it here. 45.22. This one is inside the division sign. Divide by 3.2. Now, how do we divide decimals? So, the purpose here, or our first step here, is to make our divisor a whole number. So, we need to move the decimal to the right so that our divisor becomes a whole number, not a decimal number. Okay, so let's move it here. Now, if we move our decimal point from our divisor, we also need to move our decimal point on our dividend. Depends on how many times you move your decimal point from your divisor. So since we move it only once, so let's move it once also here. So our decimal now is here, and our divisor now is a whole number, which is 32. Okay, so let's just write it here. Let me erase the old decimal point here, and also this one. Okay, so our divisor now is a whole number, which is 32, and our dividend becomes 452.2 instead of 45.22. It becomes 452.2 because we move the decimal place one step going to the right. Okay, so let's start dividing. 32 divided by 4 cannot be, so let's proceed to the second number. So 45 divided by 32, that is 1. 1 times 32, that's 32. Subtract. 5 minus 2, that's 3. 4 minus 3, that's 1. Bring down the second digit. The next digit, I mean. So you have 132 divided by 32. In 100, there are 332, and then another 32 here. So you have 4. Let's see if we get the correct answer here. So make sure that your answers here is aligned to the number being divided by. Okay, so you have 4 times 2, that's 8. 4 times 3, that's 12. Subtract. So 2 minus 8 cannot be. We'll borrow 1 here. This becomes 2. This becomes 12. 12 minus 8, that's 4. 2 minus 2, that's 0. 1 minus 1, that's 0 also. So let's bring down 2 here. And then we need to move our decimal point here because we're already on this last number. Okay, so 42 divided by 32, that is 1. 1 times 32, that is 32. Subtract, that is 0. 4 minus 3, that's 1. Let's try to add another 0 here. So this becomes now 100. 100 divided by 32, that is 3. 3 times 2, that's 6. 3 times 3, that's 9. 100 minus 96, that's 4. So our answer here, 45.22 divided by 3.2, we have our answer as 14.13. So let's just stop on the hundreds place. There. So our next example, you have 25. This is division. This is not multiplication. This is division. Okay, so we have 25 divided by 0.23. So again, this one is our dividend. inside this will be inside our division sign. 0.23 will be our divisor, which will be outside our division sign. So let's just write it here. 25 divided by 0.23. So again, we need to make our divisor a whole number. So we need to move our decimal point to the right up to the last digit. Okay, so we need to move it here. 1, 2. So our decimal point will be there. Okay, therefore our divisor now is 23. Okay, so if we move our decimal 2 places to the right, we also need to move our decimal here 2 places to the right. Now we all know that the decimal point is for 25 is here. So we need to move 2 decimal places to the right. Now we have some empty space here, so we need to add zeros there. So our new number here will be 2500 divided by 23. Okay, so let me draw a line here. Then let's rewrite this one. So this becomes 2500, and then divided by 23. So notice that we do not have any decimal point here, although our decimal point is here, right? So let's start dividing. 23 divided by 2 cannot be, so let's proceed to 5. 25 divided by 23, that is 1. 1 times 23, that is 23. 5 minus 3, that's 2. 2 minus 2, that's 0. Then let's bring down 0 here. 20 divided by 23 cannot be, right? So we need to add 0 here. Then let's bring down the next 0. So we have now 200 divided by 23. So how many 23s are there in 200? So in 100, there are 4 23. And then in 200, there must be 8. So let's try 9. Let's try 9. 9 times 3, that is 27. So it's more than 18. Yeah, it's more than. So that's 8. So this is 8. Okay. So 8 times 3, that is 24. 8 carry 2. So 8 times 2, that is 16, plus 2, 18. Then subtract. So 0 minus 4 cannot be. Borrow 1, this becomes 10. Cannot be also here. So let's borrow 1. This becomes 1. This becomes 10. And then let's borrow 1 here. This becomes 9 now. Okay, so 10 minus 4, that's 6. 9 minus 1, 9 minus 8, that's 1. 1 minus 1, that's 0. So you have here 16. So since our decimal point here is here, let's try to add 0 here so that we can move our decimal point up here. So let's just bring down 0 here. So how many 23 are there in 160? So let's try 6. Okay, so 6 times 3, that's 18. Carry 1. 6 times 2, that's 12, 13. I think it's more than 6. So let's try 7. Let me erase that one first. So 7. 7 times 3, that's 21. That's 2. 7 times 2, that's 14 plus, oh, it's more than, so it's 6. Right on the first guess. So that's 6. 6 times 3, that's 18. Carry 1. 6 times 2, that's 12 plus 1, 13. Then let's subtract. 0 minus 8 cannot be. Let's borrow 1 here. This becomes 5. This becomes 10. 10 minus 8, that's 2. 5 minus 3, that's 2. 22. Okay, let's try to add another 0. Let's make our answer on the hundreds place. Then let's bring down 0 here. So 220 divided by 23. So in 200 we have here 8, right? And then this becomes 24. So let's say 9. 9 times 3, that's 27. That's 2. 9 times 2, that's 18 plus 2, that's 20. Okay, let's subtract. So we have here cannot be. Let's borrow 1 from here. 10 minus 7, that's 3. 1 minus 0, that's 1. Okay, so our answer here in hundreds place is 108.69. Okay, so again, in dividing decimals, we need our divisor to be a whole number. So if your divisor is in decimal, you need to move your decimal point up to the last number. And then the number of times you move your decimal points, that's also the number of times you move your decimal points on your dividend. That's it. I hope you learned something today and see you on my next online lesson.